The theory has been a general question since World War II, when planes really made a large jump in speed and abilities. The big idea of chemtrails was spiked in the mid-90s by Richard Fink and William Thomas and gained national attention by radio host Art Bell. The EPA, NASA, FAA, and the NOAA responded to these accusations by providing hard data that proves the theory is a hoax. While the theory remains as a prominent idea today, it oftentimes is used by people with government paranoia to make others who trust in the government lose trust in them.
As far as we know, the theory has existed ever since there was a question about the government's main purpose. It wasn't until planes became a really important role in our lives that people started to question the clouds that form behind them and the lasting presence of them in the sky. The chemtrails theory is the idea that the lines that form behind the aircraft are not water vapor, but are rather chemicals that are geoengineering the atmosphere to try and prolong climate change. While the theory seems to be a straight and clear-cut idea, looking deeper into how it's been proven makes the entire theory fall apart.
When you look up in the air, you will see thin clouds like lines that are in the sky. These cloud lines are also known as contrails. Contrails form when water vapor from the engines hits the cold air, which then condenses. The cold temperature freezes the water soon after and creates the contrail. A contrail is, in simple terms, just water that is frozen. There are three types of different contrails that are created: a short-lived contrail, a persistent non-spreading contrail, and finally, persistent and spreading contrails. Each of these contrails vary depending on the weather conditions, temperatures, and winds. The main evidence that chemtrail theorists use are pictures of planes with seemingly many tanks on board. They analyze the image and find holes in it that they can use to support what they think. Little do these theorists understand that these tanks are simply filled with water to imitate passengers on board when they are performing test flights on newer prototype airplanes. These tanks, also known as ballast tanks, allow tests to be performed under conditions that would normally be attributed to the purpose of the aircraft. These allow for people not to be harmed during testing. These ballast tanks are often connected with tubes so that the water is able to move freely to simulate different conditions such as low passenger capacity, maximum passenger capacity, turbulence, and other potential issues.
Not only does the government disclose why these tanks are being used, but they also release atmospheric data that demonstrates the levels of atmospheric elements. There is a normal or baseline taken of the atmosphere to show what elements are either most present or lacking. This baseline allows for scientists and other agencies to compare change in the atmosphere and analyze the current effects of humanity on the environment. This is also known as climate change. Many people use the idea of climate change to support chemtrails because it gives them a reason for having lines form behind the planes, and the idea fits their idea.
So how do these theorists support their ideas? They simply use already existing data and twist it to find what they want to hear. Even if that means not labeling things right, excluding important data, and just spreading information by word of mouth. They also conduct tests that are not performed in the best conditions to show the proof of chemtrails. That includes putting a tub of water outside and then analyzing it and saying there are higher chemical elements in the atmosphere than normal. There's no real evidence that has been collected to prove that chemtrails are real. These people that believe in this are more into the idea of creating doubt and spreading lies than really showing the truth. We are all in agreement that this conspiracy theory is simply stupid and not true. The idea of chemtrails, while may seem interesting, is just not plausible with the evidence that is used to support it.
Why did this theory pop up? Well, simply the theory popped up because people were bored and just wanted to be the center of attention. These people want to make other people lose trust in the government, which makes the country more unstable than it already is. People are just trying to fit in, and if that means believing in ideas that make zero sense, then they're all for it. People just want to prove why the government is a bad entity.